Old pond. Frog jumped in. Sound of water. Welcome to Cloud Moon New Beginnings, episode 19. That haiku was written by Matsuo Basho, who was born in Japan in 1644. And as you might guess, this episode is about and with frogs. The sounds that you heard at the beginning of this video were frogs in a small pond. Well, more like a small swamp, located near the border of North Carolina and South Carolina at the beach. Stephanie Petrie has joined me again in this small conversation about nature and trust. Thank you, Stephanie.
The biggest probably part of my life. I mean, just to be able to be out in nature, to all of nature and all the seasons. I mean, we have 4 seasons here in Flagstaff, Arizona, but there's always, and driving down to Sedona to see those huge red rocks down there, and to be out in the desert in Joshua Tree. And I love, the ocean equally so, and the beach. And I mean, there's so many beautiful beautiful places everywhere that it just takes a few moments to get out of your own space and travel there or walk there.
So true. Yeah. Beautiful planet.
That is a beautiful planet, that's for sure.
It's amazing how many beautiful spaces there still are, considering the rate at which we tend to change things sometimes.
No. And do you have people ask you? I sure do. Where's your favorite place? Or I can't really say that because I have.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And different places in different seasons.
Right. Right. Yeah. And it's our ideas that cut it up into these small sections, oh, this is this place and this is this place, but really it's the whole thing.
Yes, it sure is. And each kind of different space or different geography that I get to experience, there is always something marvelous about it.
Yeah.
I was in Sedona last week, and there had been a huge rainstorm the night before on the Red Rocks, and there were like you'd call them tide pools, but with fresh water, and inside of them were hundreds of tadpoles, like little tiny black tadpoles. And I took like a video with my camera right down on top of the water and just watched all the little black tadpoles. But I mean, that wouldn't have happened if the rain hadn't come, because the water wasn't there initially, and the river kind of like flooded over, and then there they were.
It's a perfect spot for the tadpoles.
So they loved it.
I suppose the frog laid the eggs after the rain was there, right?
Yes, and that's so funny that you said that, because as we were sitting by the bank of the creek, we heard all these sounds that we thought were bird calls, and then we couldn't find them on our bird app, and we both looked at each other and said, wait, those are frogs. So there were frogs everywhere, and so the water must have came, and the frogs found it as part of their journeying, and left their baby tadpoles there, and hundreds of black tadpoles. So
that's a lot of trust, isn't it? That there's not even a place to live or reproduce until it happens, and then you find it.
That's for sure. That's a wonderful way to look at that, Priscilla, because it is all about trust. I mean, maybe inside of them, they're waiting for the rains to come, or they can feel the rain, about to come, because the tadpoles would have been swept out to sea, as it were, in the creek, because it was a fast-moving creek. And there's a place for them to um, grow and have soft, still water. But all over on top of the red rocks were these tidal pools filled with the very active tadpoles.
Sounds very cool.
Yeah, it definitely was. And there were lots of trout in the creek too. So I imagine if the tadpoles were down there, they might have been food for the trout too.
It's true. It's true.
A nature cycle.
Yeah. Nature responds to our care and attention. We may not have direct control over events, but our attention to nature elicits her response and appreciation. And now, I invite you to listen again to the story of Little Frog. I hope you might enjoy it. Little Frog. You may not imagine that this is very interesting, but I really must tell you about this frog. This is a true story. It's summer here, and about 9:15 last night, I was doing laundry. Sweaty clothes needed a bath. There, on the bamboo shelf, was a little frog. Perhaps I should explain that out here in the country, a lot of people's washing machines are outside, not inside the house. Ours were outside too, under a little shelter, and there sat this wonderful lime green frog. I just had to pick him up. Cool, so cool, he felt in my warm hands. Cool as he moved across my arm, delicate fingers with fine, rounded saucer cups. I enjoyed very much this little frog's trust as he stepped and rested on me and cooled my skin. But as the laundry cycle needed attention, I reached to lift out my wet clothes and he jumped, free flying onto the next machine, nearly falling into its swishing waters, barely escaping. He skillfully, rapidly suction cupped his way to the edge of the machine. And there he sat, as I moved my clothes to the spinner. There he sat as I began the next load. Finally, gathering him again in my hands, from hand to hand he moved, playing. Such footsteps, such sensation as he climbed upon my skin. Better than air conditioning, he cooled me. Delightful companion. I set him down to continue the wash, and I looked into his deep night sky eyes. Hello, he boldly returned my gaze, and then he leapt directly onto my face. All four legs sprawled, spanning my face. He clung, pitter-pattering his way across my lips, nose, and glasses until he was the crown prince upon my head. To my surprise, I had not recoiled, but rather a laugh like a baby's delight leapt from my belly. Sounding almost too cute, I was a little embarrassed. Yet still smiling, I reached to hold my friend warmly again. I tell you, those eyes were alive, a pure and whole being peered out at me. I never knew that frogs had such character and dignity, such a gentle way of walking, such beautiful hands, and such a good sense of humor. They have a way of touching that's not slimy or creepy, but soothing, like pearls of cool water finally landing on my skin. He's a friend, a true friend, this frog. We share this life together without words, just simply in pure communion. All beings one body, all things one life. Let us realize this and truly care for all of life. Then we will be able to live in peace.
Thank you, Stephanie and Little Frog. And thank you for joining us on Cloud Moon New Beginnings, a new post every Saturday.